Good morning, everyone. Students, in our earlier topic, we studied about modes of nutrition. There are two modes of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. As we studied autotrophic nutrition in our previous video, so today we will study about heterotrophic nutrition. As you know, hetero means other, trophic means feed. The plants that lack of chlorophyll and they cannot make their own food. They depend on another organisms for their food, that are heterotrophic plants. And the example for this heterotrophic plant is mushroom, right? Now today's aim is we have to study types of heterotrophic nutrition. There are different types of heterotrophic nutrition. The first is parasitic plants, then saprophytic, insectivorous plants, symbiotic plants. We will start with parasitic plants firstly. Parasitic plants or parasites, they live on other living organisms called hosts and obtain their food from other living organisms without killing them. They didn't kill them, but they take their food from living organisms, right? The example for this is Cuscuata. Cuscuata is also called Amarbale and Cassioetha, which lacks chlorophyll. Look at the Cuscuata. This is Cuscuata. Cuscuata is yellow in color, right? And it grows on other plant. It grows on other plant called host. It lacks chlorophyll and do not make its own food by photosynthesis. So they depend on other organisms for their food, right? The second one is saprophytic. Saprophytes. Saprophytes क्या हैं? They obtain its food from decaying matter of dead plants and dead animals. They also didn't make their own food, right? They depend on decaying matter of dead plants and dead animals. For example, Indian tube plant or fungi. Fungi like bread molds, mushrooms, yeast, etc. Okay, the Indian tube plant. This is the Indian tube plant, right? These are saprophytes. Okay. Next C part is insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are also called carnivorous plants. As we know the meaning of carnivorous, similarly in the case of plants also, the plants are also insectivorous, right? The plants that derive most of their nutrition by consuming insects. They eat insect, right? They eat insects. That's why we call them carnivorous plants or insectivorous plants. These plants grow in marshy areas and do not get nitrogen from the soil. To fulfill their nitrogenous needs, they need to eat insects. That's why they eat insects. For example, Venus flytrap and pitcher plant, right? This is the pitcher plant. Okay, they eat the insects like this. Okay, next D part is symbiotic plants. Symbiotic plants live together and share shelter and nutrients to each other. Symbiotic plants, what are symbiotic plants? They share their shelter and they live together. Okay. For example, lichen. Lichen is a symbiotic association between these two, fungi and algae. Algae and fungi, when they make the symbiotic association, they make the lichen, you can say it. Algae provide food to the fungi and fungi provide protection to the algae. Both have different duties, right? Algae provide food and fungi provide protection to the algae. Look at the diagram of the lichen. This is the lichen. This is the algae, fungi, and the attachment structure is this. This is like the attachment structure. That's why we call it lichen. And lichen get nutrition from both of these, algae and fungi. Okay.